Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to everyone present today. So, as you are all aware of, today's session is a briefing session for the upcoming discourse challenge, which is the National ICT Security Discourse Cyber Safe Challenge Trophy 2023. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to send my biggest gratitude and welcome to all of you to this briefing session, and we appreciate your time and presence in this session. And hopefully, by the end of today's online briefing, you would able to understand, or your questions will be answered, or you'll be able to have a concrete grasp of what is NICTSeD is all about and how to prepare yourself or your team uh, for the upcoming discourse challenge, and perhaps make it further. Maybe this year, last year, you have entered the discourse challenge, and perhaps this year you get to prepare yourself better, equip yourself better with the knowledge and understanding of what NICTSeD is all about, what NICTSeD wants from the participants, and perhaps go further into the competition and perhaps become the champion for this year's NICTSeD. And for your information, ladies and gentlemen, to all that is present today, okay, throughout this session, okay, I will go through the agenda for today, for this afternoon. We'll start with opening remarks by Cybersecurity Malaysia and also BSTP, and then after that, we're going to show you a quick 2022 NICTSeD 2022 video, last year's grand final, okay, and then we'll come to the last part of the session, which is the briefing, the most important briefing for this year's NICTSeD 2023. Okay, so you have any questions along the briefing session, you may do so. You type in the comments. We'll try to answer those questions accordingly. Okay, so just to as an introduction to NICTSeD, just in case you didn't know, and to all those newbies, new groups that intend or plan to enter this year's competition, NICTSeD 2023, it is a special year in 2023 because this course challenge is this year we are celebrating our 10th anniversary of NICTSeD. So we have a special theme this year, which is a decade of discourse, most definitely a decade of discourse. So we hope this year we will see a more schools that shows enthusiasm to win, the desire to win, and I believe you guys are going to do better and even more better throughout the years. But hopefully this year will be a special year that we get to see schools that shows a great potential in throughout the competition, right? So I think without further ado, I would say we'll start the agenda with the opening remarks by Encik Muhammad Syamil Muhammad Yusof from the head of Outreach and Corporate Communications, Cyber Security Malaysia. Okay, so Encik Muhammad Syamil.
Okay, thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera dan salam Cyber Malaysia Madani. My name is Muhammad Syamil Muhammad Yusof, as mentioned by everyone just now, from Cyber Security Malaysia. Selamat datang and welcome to the National ICT Security Discourse Cyber Safe Challenge Trophy 2023, or in short, we call it NICTSeD 2023 briefing today. And on behalf of Cyber Security Malaysia and NICTSeD 2023 Secretariat, I would like to thank all of you for allocating your time, your valuable time to be with us this afternoon. Perhaps some of you might be the first time participating in NICTSeD 2023 or NICTSeD as a whole. So allow me just to give you a short brief about what the discourse is all about. The National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy NICTSeD is the first Malaysia National ICT Security Discourse competition organized by Cyber Security Malaysia in collaboration with Educational Resources and Technology Division, BSTP, Ministry of Education, and with the support of the Ministry of Communications and Digital. We started the competition in 2019, and since then, the discourse has been successfully reached out to many schools and in Malaysia, but many have not come across it. We hope that this year we're going to get more participants, especially from the new school that have not been participating yet in the competition. So the discourse is actually the goal of this course is to disseminate knowledge and information on ICT and internet security in order to create interest among students and teachers in secondary schools to become more ethical, more resilient as cyber citizen or digital citizen. The competition or the discourse is part of Cyber Security Malaysia outreach program, which is under CyberSafe in School. It is an annual event, and this year, as mentioned by Mr. Edwan just now, we have reached our 10-year anniversary. So it's about satu dekad lah. So this competition is open to all government-aided schools under MOE from Form 1, kalau tak silap ya, Form 1 until Form 5 secondary school ya. So through this program, what we want is actually to stimulate creativity, critical thinking among the participants on cyber security issues with regards to the usage of internet and current trends of technology. Through this competition also, we wanted to identify methods to overcome challenges and risks while being online towards becoming a responsible digital citizen. The uniqueness of this discourse is actually the competition is actually adopting the discourse format, making it the first of its kinds in Malaysia lah. Yeah. So we have reached out to many students across Malaysia, and we also have the alumni. So those who have been involved in the competition, at the end, you'll become part of the alumni. So today's briefing, kita akan, as mentioned by Encik Edwan, kita akan menerangkan konsep pelaksanaan NICTSeD secara menyeluruh. For the first timer, you'll be getting first-hand information on how we conduct the discourse, what are the rules and regulations that you need to abide, the syarat-syarat penyertaan lah untuk qualifying submission nanti. And second one is we want to encourage more schools to participate. As I mentioned earlier, we want new school to come because not only because internet is used by so many across so many people lah, termasuk pelajar-pelajar, student daripada universiti, pelajar sekolah, kanak-kanak dan sebagainya. So we want to create more awareness on cyber security lah. Dan dalam briefing ini juga, we would like to also get cooperation from JU in all states in Malaysia to also support in terms of disseminate information about the discourse lah to all schools in Malaysia. So I don't want to talk long about this. You will listen more from next speaker, especially from the technical team on the rules and regulation of NICTSeD 2023. So terima kasih atas kehadiran semua. I wish you all the best. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Okay, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Wise words from Encik Muhammad Syamil, Head of Outreach and Corporate Communication Cybersecurity Malaysia. Thank you very much. Moving on into our agenda for this afternoon will be remarks from the Tuan TS Haji Paridum bin Zahid, Timbalan Pengarah Sektor Pengintegrasian Teknologi Pendidikan, Bahagian Sumber dan Teknologi Pendidikan, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. I will talk to call upon Tuan Haji. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our MC today. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera and salam Malaysia Madani. Yang saya hormati, respected Encik Muhammad Syamil bin Muhammad Yusof, the Head of Department Outreach and Corporate Communication, Cyber Security Malaysia. Cik Sharifah Nur Aslah binti Syed Omar, the Assistant Director from BSTP. Encik Jazanul Azriq bin Arifin, the Manager of Cyber Security Malaysia. Miss Tan Wan Ying, the most important people in this program, our anchor also, as the NICTSeD Technical Officer. Encik Muhammad Hanif Harun, the Assistant Director from JPS Selangor. Thank you for your helping us in our last session today. Secretariats and the members of the Organizing Committee of the National ICT Security Discourse, Cyber Safe Challenge Therapy NICTSeD 2023, Ministry of Education Malaysia, school principals, teachers and students as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah SWT. With His bounty, we can be gathered today for NICTSeD 2023 briefing. And thank you and congratulations to all teachers and students, or maybe parents, as well as JPN and PPD officers who are willing to spend time with us to join our program today. As we all know, as we mentioned by our secretariat, this is the 10th year of NICTSeD in Malaysia. And I think, as we all know, we have 5.2 million of students in Malaysia. How can we expose all of them to our program? It's very important for them to prepare the student and enhance with technology. And actually, this NICTSeD initiated in line with the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 and 2035. NICTSeD 2023 is seen as one of the beneficial programs enhancing student talent. Through NICTSeD, we are able to provide opportunities and enhance students' abilities in the following aspect. 1. Stimulate creative and critical thinking among participants on global cyber threat issues. Second one, have acquired added knowledge on different methods and strategies to overcome online risks and challenges. And the last one, to bring our young participants and teachers to become ethical. I repeat, to become ethical and more resilient in digital citizens, equipped with well-balanced knowledge of digital education and digital quotient. Ladies and gentlemen, before I ending my speech once again, I would like to invite more schools and teams to participate in this course to increase awareness of the important and responsibility of the cyber world among students and teachers, as well as think critically creatively in discussing current issues in the cyber world based on facts. So, before we listen to the briefing, I would like to thank the CSM, JPN, PPD, school leaders, teachers, and parents for their support in further raising cybersecurity awareness for students. By using all these resources and synergies, we will get benefit from the more secure cyber environment for present and future generation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tuan Haji. Terima kasih banyak. Okay. Moving on into our agenda for today, I just like to briefly go through the terms and conditions. How can you? I mean, I think most of you that are present today are wondering how can I submit my team to this competition? Why? This is important, and why should I submit my team into this competition? Number one, because again, as mentioned, as Encik Muhammad Syamil, Tuan Haji, the exposure and our the objective of this competition is to create an awareness, a skill set, a new skill set into presentation and research into the field of cyber security, and it's very good and it's very how I say beneficial for students to join this competition. And by the end of the, if your team progress further into this discourse challenge, you might get reward for it. I'll go through the rewards for this discourse challenge. The winner, the champion, will get a trophy and money worth 5,000 ringgit. The second will get, if I'm not mistaken, 3,000 ringgit, and then you have for third placing, and then you have best speaker, and you have best deck slide as well. So there's a lot of prizes out for grabs. Okay, not only knowledge and awareness, but also prizes that we give for the winning teams. Okay, so before you can progress into the discourse challenge, okay, you have to submit an audition. Okay, and an audition first. So as you if you're wondering what is the rules and regulation or terms and regulation to submit the audition, you can head down to NICTSeD.cybersafe.my, NICTSeD.cybersafe.my. So for the audition, the title, the topic for the audition, you still have time. You still have time until the 14th of June, 2023. Okay, the title of calling for the qualifying submission is "Being Victims of Online Scam is not a matter of if, but when. Prevention is better than cure." So you still have time to submit your participation. Okay, three per team, three players, not three players, three team members per team. Okay, that's for the, if head down to NICTSeD.cybersafe.my to submit your participation, or you want to know more about the discourse challenge itself, you can head down to cybersafe.my/NICTSeD, cybersafe.my.NICTSeD. There you would know more about what is NICTSeD. It's all about, you can see all the previous champions that we had along the years. And as in case to the people that just joined in, 2023 is the 10th year anniversary of NICTSeD. Okay, the 10th year, so a decade of discourse, as I would say. Okay, so I think moving on, we would like to show you a bit of not a bit, one video of from last year's grand final. Okay, which is between SMK Alu Aka, SMK Sultan Abu Bakar, and also what was the other one? Oh my god, apology. There are three teams in the final. I can't remember the other one, the last one. Okay, but I think Sheikh Anif, I think, are we ready to show the video from last year's? Can we do that?
I would like to congratulate schools that have submitted their video for this year's National ICT Security Discourse or NICTSeD 2022 Virtual Discourse. We are grateful to receive such an overwhelming response from all of you for this special once-a-year event. On behalf of the organizing committee, we appreciate and salute your hard work and dedication on being part of this prestigious competition. As we all know, this competition was hugely impacted by the pandemic. Thus, NICTSeD 2022 Virtual Discourse is a continuation from a successful year of an exciting alternative approach to elevate the challenge. Hence, without further ado, I'm pleased to announce 81 schools that have qualified for the next round of NICTSeD 2022 Virtual Discourse. Congratulations once again, and I wish you all the best of luck. NICTSeD, dare to discourse.
Greetings, I bid to all and welcome to the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2022 Visual Discourse. So the visual discourse of this year is the Octo Finals is now in session.
I'll start in 3, 2, 1. To make sure to remember the past.
People who use social media.
I hope that answers your question.
You are actually exposing us to cyber hygiene.
And the moment that we have all been waiting for, the winner for today's session is Sekolah Terit U. Congratulations.
The virtual discourse for this year's quarterfinals is now in session.
Where an artificial intelligence using machine learning
compared to the number of cybersecurity workers in Malaysia.
And I would like to add on something because the term itself says cybersecurity.
The winner for this quarterfinal and going to the semi-final is chairperson under drum roll. Will be Team C, Sekolah Menengah Sains Kuala Terengganu.
Misinformation itself would cause anger, and all of this anger cause violence.
This is why we want the government to invest in a cybersecurity system.
The number of cybersecurity experts wanted
into this discourse.
Help them resolve the problem.
So us as a team, we've really learned how vast the cybersecurity world really is. Like it incorporates things like AI, economics, law, and many, many more.
Second of all, we learned about how we should practice cyber hygiene, why and how, and what's the impact of practicing it in the first place.
I would say that we're pretty inspired by the other groups too. The speakers all are very talented.
And I still feel very grateful for having the opportunity to join this competition. I would like to thank cybersecurity so much for having this competition in the first place, and this competition should be supported no matter what.
Our winner is SMK Sultan Abu Bakar. Congratulations.
Team B, Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Aminul Bakir. And obviously SMK Abu Bakar.
Of course, three of us as a team, we felt very honored, very happy that we managed to enter grand finals.
So many hours of our days went into preparing for octo-finals, quarter-finals, semi-finals, and finally it paid off because we managed to get into grand finals.
Hopefully, if we win it, it'll be a fantastic experience for all of us, considering it's our first year.
We are really happy that our hard work paid off and really excited to see what comes next in the grand finals. SBS, be the best.
SAB, Cyber clean, cyber safe.
Be the best, lead the rest. AA number 1.
All right, that was it. As correcting about the grand finalist for last year, it was from SMK Al-Waqar, SMK Sultan Abu Bakar, and also SMK Abdul Baki from Wilayah Persekutuan Kuala Lumpur, as you can see just now in the video. And the winner, of course, to those who didn't know, is from SMK Al-Waqar. The great thing about SMK Al-Waqar, they were the grand finalists as well, grand finalists for the 2021 finalists, SMK Al-Waqar. So last year they finally won. So to those schools that have participated in this NICTSeD discourse challenge, perhaps last year you've gone through up to the semi-final or even to the quarterfinals. You never know, you might reach further into the competition and maybe reaching the grand final and maybe perhaps become the champion for this year's special year for NICTSeD, the 10th anniversary of NICTSeD. And so I would like to call everyone, participation in this year's NICTSeD, submit your teams, and perhaps afterwards we're going to have a detailed brief about the rules and regulation, what you need to do, what you shouldn't do, the best practices perhaps, and how can you prepare your team even more for the competition, or even for the preparing your team to submit a video, the audition video to us, and hopefully you'll be chosen. The preliminary stages is important, is for you to be chosen by the secretariats to be part of the competition for this year's 2023 NICTSeD. All right. I think again I would like to highlight the websites that you should go to for submitting your online participation. You need to go to nictsed.cybersafe.my. nictsed.cybersafe.my. There you can go to the submission page, as well as if you register yourself to the site, you can go to the to our previous streams, previous session. You can watch back the previous streams from there. And if you want to know more about the CyberSafe as a whole, as the discourse challenge, as the competition itself, you can head down to www.cybersafe.my/NICTSeD. There's information about our previous champions, who is our previous champions, and also the timeline, the guided timeline, what the dates, the important dates for you to know, as well as there's a link for you to head down to CyberSafe's YouTube channel. There we showcase several previous submissions, selected submissions. Please be note that the submissions are only for reference purposes only, right? So I think we can proceed to the most important part of for this afternoon, is a brief by Ms. Tan Wan Ying, the Chief Technical Officer for NICTSeD. I think we can proceed with that. Ms. Tan?
Let me unmute this. Am I audible?
Yes, Ms. Tan, yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Right, if we could share the slides, we will proceed with the briefing. Right, thank you very much. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to start the briefing on NICTSeD 2023. So I'm going to start with the qualifying round, and then I will proceed to NICTSeD competition proper. Okay, so you have any questions, perhaps you'd like to type it into the chat, and the secretariat will be filtering it so that I will take the questions as I go along. All right, next slide, please. So NICTSeD consists of two things that are equally important. The first one is the qualifying submission, where teams who would like to take part in NICTSeD competition have to submit a video on a given topic to be selected to qualify for the actual NICTSeD competition. So the second part would be the NICTSeD competition, which I will touch on a little later in the briefing. So let's proceed to the qualifying submission first. If I could have the slides, please. All right. So here, I'm going to deal with the do's and don'ts. What are we going to do? What do we have to do to submit our videos to qualify? And then probably give you also, a little peek into what we are looking for, the selection criteria. What are the criteria that we are looking for? Right. So first and foremost, it's only one entry per school, and only the registered members would be eligible for NICTSeD 2023 in the event that the school qualifies. Now, the team members, we need 3 people. We have 2 main team members and 1 reserve, and they can be anyone from Form 1 to Form 5. However, I need to stress clearly that once registered, these 3 members cannot be changed. All right. So if you register student A, student B, and student C, that's it. Student A, B, C will be from the qualifying, and in the event that they do qualify for the competition, will follow the competition until they reach the end or until they lose a round. So no changing. So we cannot have registering A, B, C, and suddenly, C is not coming for whatever reason, and we're going to put in a new student, D. No, you can't do that. So please select your students carefully. We are also talking about commitment here. Okay, right. And once the qualifying results have been announced, the teams who made it will be informed. They must confirm their participation officially within 7 days of the announcements of the results. It's courtesy. When you're invited, it's only right you give RSVP. So same goes for NICTSeD. Okay, right, let's go. Next slide. So what do we need to do to qualify? Of course, we have to submit a video presentation, and the link to upload is inside the website itself. All right. Now, the duration of the video is 5 minutes. So let me work out the math for you. 5 minutes. Okay. All the team members, that means the 2 main team members plus reserve, has to speak at least 1 minute each. So 3 minutes are taken up here. You have got 2 extra minutes. Okay, so the 2 extra minutes here, anyone can take. It doesn't matter. You can even give 1-5, 1-5, 1-5, or 2-1-1, whichever. It's entirely up to you. All right, but the bottom line is The maximum duration of the video is 5 minutes. And when the speaker speaks, the speaker must be visible on screen. That means we must see you when you speak. No voiceover during that 3 minutes. At the other times, if you have voiceover, we're not bothered. But at least we see all three speakers speak for at least 1 minute during the video presentation. Okay? Right, let's proceed. Next slide, please. Right. The window for submission is already open. It started on 1st of May and it is open until the 14th of June at 11:59 p.m. That means you have until almost midnight, not 12 a.m. because the moment it hits 12 a.m. it would be 15th of June. So you have until 11:59 p.m. to submit the video. The link for the submission is below. And this is very, very important. Submissions must be original. Please do not cut paste from, if your school have been taking part or, you get someone else to do it and then you cut and paste here and there. It's somebody else's work. No, it must be the work of the three who will be coming for NICTSeD, we hope. All right. So the three team members work with your teacher. Your submission must be original. Do not cut and paste from a 2022 or a 2021 submission. No. We want the original. And of course, copyrighted materials are prohibited. You understand when I say copyrighted materials, right? Because these are submitted and then, if for any reason someone else catch on to it and they said that this is copyright and they could sue you for copyright, and we don't want that to happen. Okay? We don't want copyright issues to crop up. So please make sure if you use any cartoon characters or any music, background music or whatever it is to enhance your presentation, make sure you use from non-copyrighted materials. There are a lot of sharewares outside there. Okay, lots of sites that have all those that are not copyrighted. Make use of them. All right. Now, when the results are announced, of course, the jurors' decisions are final. Okay, and no appeal will be entertained. Okay, the panel of experts, that's why they are called panel of experts. They are experts in their respective field. So they would have chosen very, very carefully those who would qualify for the competition. So to name your video, please name your school code. Start with your school code. Slight little underscore there, your school name, and then underscore NICTSeD 2023. Now the school code is very important because we have schools that have almost the same name. I know we have two at least SMK Tuanku Abdul Rahman in Malaysia. One is in Perak, one is in Selangor. So, to prevent confusion, use the school codes. School codes will never be repeated. So that is very, very important when you submit your video. Make sure the school codes are there. Okay? Right. Next slide, please. Okay, this is your topic for the presentation. Being victims of online scam is not a matter of if, but when. And prevention is better than cure. So you have a task, you need to present a video of 5 minutes on this topic. What do you want to tell the panel of experts? the selection panel, about being victims of online scams, about prevention is better than cure. What do you think you want to tell them? What can you say that would make them sit up and take notice of what you're saying? Think. Okay, here we go. Now, these are the selection criteria. They play a part in the selection. Content is 50% weightage. So if your content doesn't address the topic given, there's a high chance your team is already in trouble. Okay? So make sure your content is relevant. That's one thing. The second thing is make sure your content is interesting. Now, by interesting, I mean that it is relevant and the information you give is not a regurgitation of type outs from the internet. Don't just read a script. Speak to the panel of experts. You know, if I'm sitting in the audience, I always feel very happy. I feel very connected when the presenter talks to the audience. I feel as if the presenter is talking to me, and it makes whatever they are telling me more relevant. It irks me no end if the speaker is just reading from a script. And I was like, I can read. I don't need you to read. I can read. But talk to me. Explain things to me. That's what I would want if I'm in the audience. And believe me, your panel expert will appreciate you talking to them rather than reading them a bedtime story. Okay? So that is content. Make it relevant, make it interesting, present it, talk to us about it. Don't just read it to us. Presentation-wise, let's go to the second criteria, is how you present it. It's your creativity. You have that extra 2 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever. You can do whatever you want. How you choose to present it, in a mini drama, a mini sketch, you want to do a forum, whatever, it's up to you. However, your presentation should not overshadow the content. Meaning, do not get over dramatic with your presentation that the content gets lost in the drama. Okay, so there's a little bit of balancing that you need to do here, because no matter how good your presentation is, it's only 20% weightage. So you could come up with the best, I don't know, layouts, scripts, acting, whatever, is only 20%. If that overshadows the content and the content doesn't come across, you lose marks. So priority is content, and then think about presentation. Language. Language is 20%. It's usually a bonus here because we do not expect you to speak the King's English. We don't expect native speakers of the English language. If you're good, well, wonderful. As long as we can understand you and your grammar is not glaring, this is practically a bonus for you. So work with your teachers. If your team manager is not a language teacher, you might want to ask the advice of a language teacher, to help to check through your presentation. to check on your language. That's the first thing. Okay. The second one on language is also your body language. Okay. When you present, are you looking at your audience? Are you talking to the panel of experts, so to speak, through the camera? Remember, behind the camera is your audience. Through the camera lens is your audience. Don't forget, are you talking to your audience, your body language, or are you talking to the air conditioner? Are you talking to a person, your body language? Are you busy fidgeting with things off the camera? These are things we can see. All right. So language, the crux of it would be, yes, the spoken language, but don't forget there's a little on the side, the paralinguistic. Finally, technicality. This is the quality of your recording, the quality of your editing. Okay. How well have you handled the technicality of your presentation? On technicality, a word of caution. We had teams in the past who submitted us videos which were very creative. The layout was very beautifully done, the effort was wonderful, and we love it. But for one problem, the presentation, the sound, this is under the technicality of it, was so loud. The background music was so loud that the panel could not hear a single word that the presenters were saying. See the caution here? Please check your videos before you submit. Check and edit. For as long as the deadline is open, you have time. Okay? We were very sad having to, not allow that team in because we just couldn't hear anything they were saying. We were deafened, quite literally, by the background music. Okay? So selection criteria, repeat, be careful. Content, always content first, and that's the heaviest weightage. Presentation, language, and do not forget the technical aspects of your video. All right? So let's, any question so far? Any question? We're good? All right then. Here we go. So the National ICT Security Discourse, virtual discourse or on-site. So there are two, from octofinal to semi-finals. Octofinal and quarterfinal, it is virtual. Can I have the next slide? I believe it is clearly explained in the next slide. There we go. So the qualifying round is video submission, that's all. The octofinals are online. Quarterfinals are online. Now the semi-finals and the grand finals are on site. And the duration is between the August and September this year. So once the dates and all have been sent out to you again, please clear your calendar. All right? So that you'll be prepared mentally as well. You have sufficient time for preparation to come on to the competition. Let's proceed to the next slide. So since we have first timers here, Let me emphasize again. Students of Form 1 to 5 from government-aided schools under the purview of the Ministry of Education. Again, the team must be from the same school, accompanied by a teacher. That means whenever you are competing, regardless, octo, quarter, semi, or grand finals, the teacher has to be there. A teacher, all right? And you have two main presenters and one reserve who is not speaking. Now, if you go beyond the octo final, let's say A and B are the main speakers for octo final, and you have C doing reserve. And then when you go to the quarter final, and you realize the topic is very close to your reserve member's heart. It is something this fellow is an expert on. Can you change? Yes, you can. So maybe B will want to be the reserve. Put C up because C is strong. C knows the topic well. You can do that. Okay? So these three roles are interchangeable. It's up to you. It's your strategy. However, they must be the same members as those registered in the qualifying round. A, B, C. Okay? And this is from the octofinals. That means you have said yes when you receive the invitation that you qualify and you're coming for NICTSeD. Once the octofinal starts, you are committed until the end of the competition or until your team loses. That means you're not able to advance anymore. So at this point, there is a penalty for premature withdrawal. Okay? With premature withdrawal, that means the team, let's say they win the octo and decides to withdraw. They don't want to proceed. It has to be done officially, official letter with the signature, with the knowledge of the principal. Okay? And yes, there is a penalty for premature withdrawal. All right? Please refer to the concept paper, which will be made available to you once the qualifying submission results are also announced. Okay? Let's proceed to the next slide, please. Right. Now we're going to talk about the discourse format. This starts at octofinals. We're going to start with the opening pitch. You know, pitching. You know who does a lot of pitching? The vendors in Pasar Malam. They sell their wares. They draw customers. They advertise what they are selling. That's your job. At this point, presenter 1 and 2, look at the roles. Presenter 1 has got 5 minutes to sell the ideas, to do an uninterrupted pitch. Nobody is going to disturb presenter 1. Presenter 1 has the floor. So lay out your pitch, lay out your ideas, present it clearly so that the panel of experts will be able to follow your sales speech, so to speak, easily. Now, when Team A, presenter 1 finishes, we go to Team B, presenter 1, Team C, presenter 1. Okay, 5 minutes, nobody is going to disturb them. When presenter 1 of the 3 teams finishes, we'll go to presenter 2 of Team A. And during this, presenter 2 has 8 minutes with a little catch. That's why it's 8 minutes. Now, this is where it looks a bit like a debate. Between the first and 7th minute, let's say Team A is presenting, Team B and Team C should ask question. Minimum one question each. That means when Team A is presenting, presenter 2, Team B, Team C ask question. When Team B is presenting, Team A and C are expected to ask questions. Of course, when Team C is presenting, then the onus is on Team A and B to ask questions. Okay? And they can direct the question either to presenter 2 or presenter 1, but it's within presenter 2's time. Let's go on. Once they have finished their opening pitch, that means you finished selling your idea. Presenter 1 has finished the pitch. Presenter 2 has solidified whatever it is they want to sell, their ideas. Then we come to the second part of it, which is you have my interest. Now, in you have my interest, this is what's unique in this competition, is that the teams would have time to interact with the panel of experts. The panel of experts are going to ask questions. The concept being this: when we pitch ideas to our bosses, when we present, we want funding or we want support from our top management, we have to tell them our ideas. And they would have questions and say, oh, okay, I like that. You have my interest. Now I'm interested, but I need to know more. So this is what this section is about. So the panel of experts are interested in your ideas. They want to know more. And this is where they are going to ask you questions. Okay? And of course, there are 3 teams per each round of the competition. And don't forget, slides are mandatory for your presentations. Okay? That means you don't just talk. It's not a debate. You don't just talk. No. You have slides, info slides, to enhance your presentation. Okay, let's go on. Next slide, please. Here we go. This is just my advice. You see, first presenter, no one's going to disturb the first presenter. So it would be wise for the first presenter to deal with the preliminaries, initiate the team's first pitch and the team's task. Now the second presenter strengthens the team's pitch with more points, more examples, strengthening it with elaborations, ideas, okay? And it deals with question and answers from the opponents. And of course, the first presenter may assist. The reserve member now, although reserve member is non-speaking, it doesn't mean the reserve member sits as a decoration in the discourse. Reserve members has actually a very important role. They provide technical and knowledge support to the team. Although they are non-speaking, meaning they cannot talk suddenly, but they can listen. Hey, that point sounds wrong. You see, all of you have got your gadgets, all of you have your laptops, and the reserve member can just quickly Google that information and check it. Is it faulty? And if it is, to inform the speaking members, especially if the first presenter of their opponents made a big boo-boo, inform the team member that during the second presenter's pitch, ask questions. There's something very wrong here. We need to clarify. That's how it is. provide support to the team. Usually the reserve members are also the ones controlling the slides so that the first and second presenter do not get distracted. They don't have to worry about the slides. Usually that's what is done. Okay, so reserve member, please support your team. Although you can't speak, you can write them little notes, pass them messages, or you can WhatsApp them. All that is possible from the reserve member. Okay, and of course, presenter 1 and 2 may assist each other in all the Q&A. Okay, sometimes, questions are on a point raised by the first presenter. And they ask the second presenter. Presenter 2 can say, okay, I'll pass this question to my first presenter. You can do that. Help each other out. Okay? Right. Let's proceed. Okay. Now, don't worry. We are not going to surprise you. The topics for the discourse will be given 2 weeks before the competition, and during which the teams will draw. Meaning, who is in session 1, day 1, who is in session 2, day 2, or session 1, day 3, or session 3, day 3, the last session of it all, will be drawn, and you will know who you're up against. Okay? And this is the best part about NICTSeD. All forms of media are allowed for research and communicate between the 3 team members only. Careful. You're allowed to use any and every form of media, and you can use those to communicate between the 3 team members. Notice it's the 3 team members. That means the 2 main ones and your reserve, not the teacher. 3 team members, not between the 3 team members and the team manager during competition. Okay? To be fair, I'll give you fair warning. All rounds are recorded. And if there are queries, it will be checked. Excuse me. Okay? If there are queries, the recordings will be played back. The POEs and the Board of Inquiry will look into it. All right? Next slide, please. Right. So at Octo Finals, because it is online, okay? Now this is very important. Please be online 1 hour before the discourse. We need to do some technical checking, make sure your lines are working. I would advise that you have teachers, if your school can do it, have an IT person on standby in case some drama happen. All right, 1 hour before the discourse. Of course, any team that fail to come on 5 minutes after the scheduled time will be disqualified. So instead of 3, if 1 team fails to show up, we'll proceed with just 2. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, prompting from any individual other than the 3 registered members will result in a forfeiture of marks for discourse performance. Okay? And there are 3 teams. Only the first place winner of each round will proceed to the next round of the competition. That means octo-final, you're number one in that room, you will proceed to the quarter. That's what it means. All right, let's go on. Next slide, please. Yes. Now, because we are online, connectivity issues. Now, if we have problem with connection, there is a 5-minute window for reconnection. Don't worry. Don't panic. All right. Of course, if the connection is successful, then reconnection is successful. Just proceed with the remaining time. Not a problem. However, if the team fails to reconnect, let's say, I hope it doesn't happen. It didn't happen before. First presenter, talk, 5 minutes, and suddenly at the 4th minute, oh, going to finish, the line does a number. And they can't connect. They can't come back. Don't worry, you haven't lost the discourse. But you can't come back. That means the time is gone, 5 minutes window is gone. You can't come back. Fine. But whatever you have presented, marks will be given already. So that you lose that 1 minute because you can't connect again, don't worry. You still have your second presenter. Do you understand? Yeah? That's what we mean that by the turn is forfeited, not the round. Not the round. So you work on the connectivity, whatever discourse just proceeds, and you are back in time for your second presenter. Second presenter, just go on. No problem. Okay? Let's continue. Next slide, please. Now, if the team is disconnected, again, there is 5-minute window for reconnection. That means this is not one person having problem. We had some problem previous competition, and the team was very fast. They managed, somebody's laptop did a number. They were very fast, they replaced the laptop, so they didn't have a problem. Okay? Successful connection, of course, we proceed as usual. But if the whole team disappears and couldn't come back at all, then, first round gone. Second presenter's time, also they can't come back. And then when it comes to you have my interest, also they can't come back at all. Okay, that's really, really bad. Then we're very, very sorry for you. The whole team is forfeited, and the discourse proceed with just 2 teams. We proceed with 2 teams. That means the whole team has disappeared. They can't come back at all. Okay, we proceed with 2 teams. And if 2 teams get disconnected and fails to reconnect, then the last team standing will be awarded the win to proceed to the next round of the discourse. Okay? All right, let's proceed to the next slide, please. Any questions, anyone? Hang on. Okay, what's the question? How long? Okay, if it is a first presenter, then the first presenter speaks for 5 minutes. Okay, if it is the second presenter, number 2, second presenter has 8 minutes, and just like a debate, between the first and 7 minutes, that gap there, the presenter is going to get interrupted. Okay, because the other teams will be asking questions. It's like the POI in the debate here. Yeah, so 8 minutes for second presenter. All right. Any other question? is the percentage to be eligible? What do you mean? What is the percentage? What percentage are we referring to?
I think it's 50-50 lah, Miss Stan. It's 50-50 eligible to join. You never know. So I guess to answer this question is 50-50
No, what percentage is this?
to be eligible to join. Okay.
What percentage is this?
Can the person asking, could you elaborate more on your question, please? Thank you. So that we could understand what you're trying to ask. Video percentage. I see. Video percentage. Video percentage.
Video percentage, you see, the state will be selecting the representative first, the top representation, and then if they don't fulfill the quota given, central committees has a quota. All other submissions that are not selected by the state will be given to the central committee, and we will rank the videos. Okay, so let's say if the central committees, we have 10 position, 10 places more, we will rank, all the way down, and then we'll cut 1 to 10, you're coming. That's what we mean. Okay, 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Okay, the time given is the maximum time. The maximum time for each speaker, each presenter, sorry.
Okay, next question from Nurjana. Can we have watch sample of the video? I guess to answer that, you can head down to cybersafe.my/NICTSeD. So if you head down there, you head down to the FYP. At the page, you can see a link to the YouTube playlist, where in the playlist you can take a look at the past submissions as your reference. Okay. Next, what is the markings for this course? What is the marking? I think the points that we get during the discourse. Asking.
Okay. We are having a briefing right before the workshop. Yeah, that will be made to the teams that are going for the discourse. Okay. Yeah, that will be given to the teams that are going for the discourse. Because it's a different ball game.
Yeah, make sure you do your best for the audition video and then make yourself eligible to get into the competition. All right, next, how would you grade the speaker team if they stutter? Would they get point deduct if they stutter?
Okay. Some people, they can't help it. Okay, it's a handicap. But they utter, as long as the point comes through, we can understand what they are saying. It shouldn't be a problem, because we have had presenters who stutter, because sometimes, they have too many things in the head and they've got too many things wanting to come out from the mouth. It trips over each other. So if they are stutterers, they have this handicap, then my advice would be speak a little slower. Emphasize the words, take it a little slower, because it will give the coordination between the brain and the mouth time to sync with each other. That usually helps. Okay, that usually helps. So don't worry about stutterers. Okay. No, second presenter is not obliged to answer all questions put forth, because remember, you also have points to give out. If you answer all questions and you don't, solidify your own team's pitch, you lose. So my advice would be just answer one. Let's say you are team A, take one from B, one from C. Done. One from B, one from C. Done. Because you need to work on your team case as well. All right?
Okay. All right. So overall, you have my interest 15 minutes overall. Sorry.
Okay, time. Oh, no. Careful. Don't get confused here. During the second presenter's speech, the pitch is from first minute to 7 minutes. So you have give or take about 5 minutes, 6 minutes in between. My maths is bad. 7 minus 1. Okay, 6 minutes to present points, to ask questions. Now, the 15 minutes is for the panel of experts to ask the team's questions. Okay? 15 minutes is for the judges to ask questions, not the teams to ask each other. Okay? During discourse, they have only about 6 minutes, give or take. Right? Any other question?
From Camila Mahali, is it compulsory to cite the information source to avoid plagiarism?
Yes. You must always, on the slides, that little square thing, usually where you take it from is at the bottom. Source, your source is stated at the bottom of the slides. Okay? Always cite the information you get. That's one of the ways to use the slides. It helps you. Okay?
Okay. Okay. From Zurashid, 30 member non-speaking want to speak about point at the first and second. Doesn't one get the third member of say if the first and second speaker doesn't get. Oh, can the reserve speak
No.
in the session?
Third speaker, the reserve member, the third member does not speak at all. Okay? So during the whole discourse, the third member doesn't speak. But remember, got a wonderful app called WhatsApp. Okay, whichever app you want to use is fine. But the third member can do research for first and second speaker to help them with their points or to help them with questions to ask the other teams. Or when the panel of experts ask a question, and they're taken aback a bit, third member, type it in, give them the answer. That's the role of the third member. Support, not speaking. If your typing is slow, like me, you can write on a piece of paper and just say, tap your friend and pass them the paper. No issue. Okay?
But I mean, you can switch roles, right, Ms. Tan? For the next.
You can only switch roles after the discourse. But in a round, you cannot switch inside a round. That means if A is first, B is second, C is third, for octo-final, that round, they must stay this way. But when you go to quarter-final, A say, I'm tired, I don't want to talk. Fine, you go play with the computer now. So B becomes whichever you want, either second or first. C comes in, and then A gets a break as a reserve. Up to you. Okay?
Yep.
Right.
Okay, I think it's from Hairani Shahril asking how to submit the video. Okay, it's easy. You head down to nixed.cybersafe.my at the page, they have a submission page. You can submit. Fill out the form. Fill out the URL of the video that you have uploaded on YouTube, and then there you go. That's your submission. Okay, as stated here in the chat, URL submission URL NICTSeD.cybersafety.my. You have until 14th of June. You still have time to submit your registration, your team members, the team for this year's special year of NICTSeD. Okay. I guess, Mr. Tan, I think in terms of how to say, a team using a laptop, right?
Uh-huh.
If is it okay if a team uses, for example, from one video source rather than one person of each? What would you recommend
No
personally?
problem. It's entirely up to the team. You can have different, laptops, cameras, whatever, and then you edit it and put it together, or you can have one, whichever works best for you. Okay, whichever works best for you.
Okay, Rohamid again. How about first speaker like to answer a question during speaker's turn?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. This is what I mean when I say first and second presenter, you help each other. Because sometimes I know opponents can be very naughty, It's the first presenter's point, but they attack the second presenter on it. And the poor chap, the cekek want to answer. And the first speaker can just say that, okay, that's my point. Let me answer that. No problem. Okay? Step in to help your teammate.
But I guess the most important thing, I think, Mr. Tan, don't forget to ask.
Oh, yes,
After they forget
definitely. Definitely. Don't forget to ask. Okay? And don't forget to take questions either. Right? Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
Sharvin Vadivelan asks, what is the maximum time for the online submission? 5 minutes for each speaker or 5 minutes altogether, overall?
5 minutes total, all together. Okay? 5 altogether. Up to you. Who gets longer time, who gets shorter time, up to the team to, prepare it. But max 5.
Okay, another question. What if one of the speaker is sick? Done.
During the discourse, we can function on 2. We can still function on 2, no problem. It's okay. But, because now you don't have a technical person playing with your slides for you, then the first 2 presenters, they just have to work out a schedule, how they're going to do the slides, control the slides and speak at the same time. We have had teams have that before. What they did was they work out a system. A help when B is presenting, B helps when A is presenting, whichever works for you. Yeah, you can function on 2, no problem.
As long as you have two person per team, then
as long as you have
then all set to go. Yep. Okay. Any more questions from the viewers? No? Okay, again, I would like to remind all of you, watching, that if you want to submit your participation through our online submission, you can head down to the link NICTSeD.cybersafe.my, click on the submission page and fill up the form, fill up the form, and also I think firstly is upload your video on YouTube accordingly, and then fill up the form there. If you want to know more about the Discourse challenge, you can head down to cybersafe.my/NICTSeD. The You can see all the information about NICTSeD, and also who is our previous champions throughout the years, and also a link to the YouTube playlist to check out previous submissions by previous schools as only a guided reference. And also there's on the website also cybersec.my/NICTSeD also a guided timeline for you to know when is the auto finals, when is semi-finals, when is the grand finals, just to prepare yourself, prepare the team, make yourself available by as Miss Tan has just said, make your team available for that date, so that you won't be having trouble if you qualify until semi-final. Then maybe on the semi-final date your team is not available, then you have to I would say pull out from the competition. I mean that's a terrible thing to do. So we hope you take down of the dates, important dates, and make sure your team is available during all the dates until the grand final. You never know, your team might get yourself through into the grand final. Might be this year's champion of 2023. Okay, I guess the question should be a short, simple, not too much. Right? The question should be short. Okay. Well, I think I take another one last. Maybe the last question. Roy Hamid said, question should be short, simple, and not statements. Is that so, Mr. Tan?
Okay. The questions when you direct is almost like a POI in a debate. Okay, it could be a question like you said, how do you know that this is true, or how can you go, um, why do you say that? It's a short question, but it can also be a statement. Like when you said something, let's say Team A has said something, and during Team B's presentation, and they mentioned that, you know, our opponents from Team A, they said this and this, and we don't think that, we want to go along in this track. And Team A could stand up and say, okay, can I say something here? I said, can I clarify that this is not, okay? It works that way as well. So it can be a question or a statement, short ones. Okay? Remember, time is running, yeah? If you take too long, you allow your opponents to take too much of your time, you lose time in your pitch. So be careful about that. That's also part of your strategy. Okay?
Okay. Well, I mean, there will be further clarification and briefing for the qualified teams. Yeah. So I think most importantly is for all of you to submit your teams, and I think most importantly to do your very best, or to make your videos, your audition videos, well, according to the rules, interesting, so that your video will be chosen. I think that's the most important thing. Your video, your audition video, be chosen by the respective technical teams. And after that, we will have another briefing, another session with the qualified teams, and perhaps there we will go into depth on the tips on how to prepare yourself further into the competition. And perhaps I think lastly, Mr. Maybe any minor or tips on for their video submission, for the audio. I mean,
Okay.
what basically?
All right. My tips would be, first, do not worry about discourse. Worry about the qualifying submission, the video first. Produce the best video you can to speak to the panel of experts, to your audience, whoever will be watching your video, on the topic given. So focus on that first. Now you get through that. That's why in my briefing here, I focus only on the selection criteria of the qualifying round. Don't want to throw too many numbers and too many conditions at any of our participants. Focus on that first. Come up with the best content in the most logical, presentable presentation, and all the best to you.
Yeah, I think most importantly we want to see the team members speaks, and how in terms of their confidence and things like that. That's the most important. Not
we do.
the music effects, not the video effects, none of much of those things, but most importantly how they show themselves on
Correct.
the video, right?
How you would carry yourself if you go on to the discourse. On hind thought, I just remembered something. Don't get carried away with the graphics and the GIFs. Okay? Cartoons are not going to win you a lot of marks. Please don't have all the cartoon characters talking to us. We would like very much to see our presenters. Yeah? And don't clutter the screen. Okay?
So HR Miss Zaidi asked, this audition video should be 2+1 members. Is it?
Yes, all three should be in the video. And for the audition, even the reserve has to speak. Minimum 1 minute. Okay? Everyone has to speak, yeah, in the audition video.
Okay, I think that's all on the question, I believe. Okay, thank you for your questions, and I would like to thank Ms. Tan for the lengthy brief or insight on the discourse. So I think most importantly, Ms. Tan, get yourself qualified first. Okay, then we'll talk more on this. Could my school also share the video on our social media? Can they share the audition video on social media?
Actually, it is risky in a sense. Okay, that's why we even advise that you tag it as private, because you don't want people to rain on your parade, steal your ideas, and things like that. Maybe after the submission, after the qualifying selection is over, then you want to share it with the rest of your school, go right ahead. That's not a problem anymore. But until the results are out, you might want to hold the cards a little closer to you, then expose like your Scrabble tiles to all your opponents. Okay? You don't want to do that.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much. Done. I think that's about it for our session for this afternoon. I hope after this, okay, in a couple of days you have a couple of days until the 14th. We have until the 14th of June, 11:59 p.m. 14th of June. Right. Okay, that's the last date that you have that you can submit your team registration, okay, for this year's 2023 NICTSeD, and hope we clarify most of the things that you have asked, okay, if not all. So hopefully by then you are able to gather those information and plan your audition video or plan your submission in the next coming days, and hopefully your school or videos will be chosen by the secretariats and qualify to the competition for this year's competition. Okay, so I guess if you have further questions after this session, you might just want to email us at NICTSeD at cybersafe.my. The email for the official email for the competition, NICTSeD at cybersafe.my. Okay, or any other inquiries, questions you might want to ask to the technical to the secretariats. Also, if you want for the submission page, you can head down to nictsed.cybersafe.my to submit your registration there. Okay, if you want to know more about NICTSeD competition, okay, you head down to cybersafe.my/NICTSeD, okay, to get to know more about NICTSeD, previous champions, and also the important dates, okay, that you need to reserve prior to for you before submitting your auditions, okay, to make sure you're available on those dates, okay. So I think with that, I would like to thank everyone here watching, and I would like to wish all of you good luck, and I hope that all of you will get yourself ready to submit your teams, and we'll be seeing all of you hopefully in the next official briefing for NICTSeD 2023 10th anniversary. 2023 10th anniversary of NICTSeD. Yeah, it's a very special year this year. Okay, thank you very much and have a good evening. Okay, thank you.